Hello everyone on the interwebs. My name is Kotek and today we're going to be watching a Starcraft 2 Heart of the Swarm replay between our blue Protoss in the upper right corner of the map. It is Mouse Sports Mana versus our red Terran in the bottom left corner of the map. It is Carante's Lucifron. Now the map is indeed Cloud Kingdom. Let's do a quick analysis of it. It is not on the ladder anymore. It used to be, but since the release of Heart of the Swarm, it got removed. Nevertheless, it is still a good map. We have a pretty nice, absolutely defendable expansion here, a little choke here when you can put some tanks around here, just a couple defense, just a bit of a defense here, and just defend, really. And or attack if you want to blink. Blink works great in this map. You can put some units here, maybe an observer, or just blink up, just blink up here and do a ton of damage. A little choke here, not a lot, but it's still sizable. Have a choke point here, really, just a choke. And you can destroy these rocks here, have a bigger choke, a bigger ramp, whatever you want to call it, have a bit of high ground advantage, pretty good. You can put some air units here, if you want to attack or defend, it's pretty cool. Some ground units are here, and you put some air units here, it's a bit harder for them to defend your air units. You have a pretty easy, not easy, but actually hard to defend third base. You can actually go here to this one, or here to this one. Well, let's analyze actually each. If you choose to go for this one, it is expended, but not as expended. Still in the high ground, still in this main territory. A bit of a probe on SAV action going on. You have this choke point here, and it's pretty easy to just go there. Just go like this, and it's pretty easy. Many players just do that when they want to attack at this place, this position, or they can just maybe even make a pylon here if you're a Protoss and just warp in a couple units and just send them here and harass the probe. It's pretty nice. Or you can attack here. Even though it's a bit on the lower ground, you have the feeling that it's not as defended, it's a bit more expended, but it might actually not be. Although it is very exposed to the middle of the map, the watchtowers, everything. So as a Zerg, I just choose to take both, or this one, because it's actually pretty nice to get a crease spread. As the other races though, I am not actually sure. Looking at the Protoss's base, Mana's base, have a 2-2 on the gas, just 2 here instead of 3, so it's probably just some actually specific gas and mineral time that it's going for. Just not chrono boosting out that warp gate research scenes, instead choosing to chrono boost out nothing really, but I think he just went for the probes, maybe even the stalker. While Lucifron had a couple of guys here on the gas. But once he had 50 gas, like right on the money, he decided to just make a reactor here and the command center. So I might actually just see some submarine early aggression. Maybe not though, because he is expending behind that. So maybe just going for some marine marauders timing, getting the gas back on here, and getting another gas behind that. Next is for mana, but Lucifron was attacking that probe, but he managed to create the expansion before Lucifron killed the probe. So the expansion is underway, and it was not delayed. Mothership core is also on the way, being chrono boosted out. He seriously wants that mothership core out. The Stalker almost killed that Reaper, gave it half damage, really not almost, but it did a couple of damage. The Mothership Core might just finish it off. Look at the chase, it is so exciting! The Mothership Core Reaper chase is just too much for me to handle. Tech Lab here, maybe a reactor here, or maybe another Tech Lab, depends if you're actually going for some more marine style of bio, or marauder style of bio. Because some players just choose a Marauder, as it is better against Protoss, unless he has air units. The 4 is being thrown out for mana. The robotics facility is almost done, so maybe some Colossus are going to be thrown down. The Mothership Core tried to do a time warp for these Marines, but the Marines just managed to kill it. And the Mothership Core is down. How much does it cost? Actually 100, so that's actually not a lot of money, and it can build pretty easily. Observer here going and being chrono boosted out is going straight to Lucifron's base. Not really actually, just going to the middle of the map. Couple of Marines here. He's actually just making the Marines. He's actually just making Marines. The bunker being made in front of the base leader is ready to defend versus any aggression. A Reaper here trying to kill some probes. Killed one so far, and I believe it was the one from here. Not much damage though. +1 attack for Lucifron, but +1 defense for mana. He's not chrono-boosting out that upgrade though. 2 more gateways are going to be thrown down for mana. It's about time. He actually had a little of a low economy, a bit of a low macro, and 1 gateway and 1 robotics is not cutting it, especially since he is actually not using the robotics at all. Maybe just make an observer or 2. Another expansion for Lucifron, so we're actually just going to see an economic game, at least from Lucifron, but look at that, a Stargate for mana, so maybe we're actually going to see some Void Rays around the battle. Let's look at the units stabbed in general. A bit of a probe advantage, SCV advantage for Lucifron, but the mules are just compensating around 100, 200 minerals around that. A lot of things being made for Lucifron. Armory, starport, a couple of gas, the command center, the stim, the +1 attack, just a lot of stuff. That's the thing about Terran. You have to always be making stuff, and a lot of it. The SCV here is going to scout this expansion. He's knowing there's the expansion. He scouted it. It was earlier than Lucifron's though, so that is great for the Terran player. He's going to have that economic advantage, but it may cost him. It may cost really, because Lucifron, if Lucifron actually manages to defend any aggression for mana, then it's great for him. But if he doesn't, if mana just goes early on, because he had a bit of had more money early on to actually make the troops, and he might actually just call it a game. Robotics pay for mana, so it is actually going to be Colossi and not Void Rays. He just made the Stargate to just make a couple of oracles, maybe harass the mineral line. +2 attack and +1 defense for Lucifron, while mana is making the +1 attack for ground units. But he does have another force, so he might actually just use it for a couple of upgrades. Will he actually do it? I don't think so. At least not yet. The oracle is being sent to Lucifron's base. The Marines are moving across the map. 2 Medivacs here in the middle of nowhere. They might actually just get sniped. The oracle damage here was a lot, was just plenty. 7 kills, and it might actually just get away. Managed to get away. Will it pass the turret here? Would be greedy for the turret. Will just run off, but it'll kill this one. This turret will kill the oracle and it's dead. 8 kills. I believe that was still plenty of damage. I have to say that mana came out on top with that harassment, but that tech switch did cost him a lot. So if anything, they're actually pretty even. Colossus being made for mana, the first one ever, so he needs to get that out soon. Pretty soon, because Lucifron is going to attack and the photon overcharge and the time warp isn't going to do anything. Can actually do both at the same time. Yes, they can. 75 plus 100 is actually 175, so it does have enough energy. The time warp and the force field needs those. Oh, the force field were great. He managed to split the army in half, but Lucifron managed to pick the units up from the ground, the ones that were being endangered. But they're actually just gonna load, but the claws are just gonna get a couple, maybe 1 or 2. Oh, the force field was great, but he still managed to get away. 1 or 2 marauders, 1 or 2 marines, or 1 marauder managed to get away. The economy is still growing for Lucifron. He just keeps making the units, and of course Vikings, because he does have Colossi, needs those Vikings to get rid of that Colossus. Otherwise, it's not gonna end well. The marauders is gonna get eaten by the Colossi, or the Colossus, or the Colossi, because they're gonna be more than 1. If he doesn't manage to macro, the bit of a doom drop here is going to kill a lot of workers. But the Zelts are going to try and kill them, do a couple of them. They killed 1 marine so far and they got away. The photon overcharge on the Nexus in the main. Managed to do a bit of a damage to this Medivac, but not a lot. Will he actually try to drop again, or will he actually just go home, get his army back up? Well, he's actually going to get his army back up, but he's going to send more units to his base. While this Medivac is here, the +2 armor and attack for a mana, while Lucifron is researching +3 attack and +2 armor, so he does have that upgrade advantage 1-2 versus 1-0-1. That upgrade event's pretty great. The force field here to prevent any units from showing. But he doesn't, Mana doesn't have any sort of anti-Viking army, nothing, no stalkers, no anything whatsoever. The drop here to distract Mana, that's actually an attack, a full-on attack going on in the third expansion, and the drop just continues. He's actually gonna snipe that forge. The upgrade is not gonna get benched. He didn't even cancel it. That's a huge money loss to Pylon. That was a bit of an Arcosis Pylon, if I could say so. The drone's just gonna kill plenty of them. Looking at the units lost. Tab, if I can actually hit the keyboard, there we go. 32 workers versus 9, so it's a huge damage for Lucifron, and GG from Mana. He just says GG, congratulations. It was a great game, I have to say. The drop to distract Mana from the attack going on in the front was just perfect, and Mana could not handle it. He could not handle the bio army. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.